First pictures of the negotiations over Robert Mugabe's future emerged on Thursday. The Herald image credits the Herald. Robert Mugabe has officially left his position as the President of Zimbabwe, following a prolonged attempt to cling to power. Remember this date, the 21st of November, for it is a day of liberation for the country, after Bob's 37-year rule. Once a celebrated hero of the revolution, he has somewhat ironically become the cause of another one, eventually stepping down 2 days after failing to do so in a televised event. What will happen to Robert Mugabe? Since Wednesday, tense negotiations have been going on between Mugabe and the armed forces. The former despot has been trying to secure a deal which would see him gain political asylum in a different country, after his inevitable sacking. Singapore has been touted as his retirement destination. But so has South Africa, where is Grace Mugabe. She has remained under house arrest with her husband. This, despite a flurry of rumors she'd hot-footed it to Namibia during the week. The picture is a lot bleaker for Gucci Grace than her spouse, though. And what will happen to Grace Mugabe? It is believed that Mrs. Mugabe will be prosecuted for preaching hate, divisiveness and assuming roles and powers not delegated to the office. That's according to Robert Mugabes. However, the Minister of Home Affairs blames her for abusing her position to influence Robert Mugabe in his decision-making. She has been booted out of ZANU, removed from the party's Women's League, and it seems like she will not be granted the same escape route as her husband. Who will be next President of Zimbabwe? That will more than likely be Emmerson Mnangagwa. The former army general was sacked from his role as vice president 2 weeks ago, which drew ire from most of ZANU-PF and the Zimbabwe Defense Force. It was this decision that led to the non-coup. There are concerns that Mnangagwa is all too familiar with Robert Mugabe, after having stood by Bob through crazy land reform decisions and uncontrollable inflation. However, by staying close to Robert, he has been able to successfully stave off the threat of him handing the country over to Grace. He's got an army general past. In fact, it seems this bloodless transition was executed with military precision. If this is anything to go by, Zimbabwe already looks like a more peaceful, liberal and organized state. Who will govern Zimbabwe? The Speaker of Zimbabwe's parliament says a new leader will be in office by the end of Wednesday, according to Reuters. For the last few days, it has been touted that a new, unity government will take Zim forward. It has been claimed by the Zimbabwe Defense Forces that members from ZANU-PF and Movement for Democratic Change (MDC) will work together to stabilize the country, under the leadership of Mnangagwa. However, Morgan Tsvangirai, leader of the MDC, wants to see elections held as soon as possible. He said there should be an all-stakeholders meeting to chart the country's future and that elections due next year should be supervised by the international community. Daily Express. Will the 2018 Zimbabwe elections go ahead? Any unity government that is formed will be expected to guide the country through to next year's August elections. Yet this is another element that has come under scrutiny. This is a removal of Robert Mugabe, rather than ZANU-PF. And the ruling party could attempt to push any elections back to 2023 under these circumstances. As far as we know, Emmerson Mnangagwa will be confirmed as the new president tomorrow. Upon that announcement, we can clear our crystal ball and see exactly who will be in this new government, and when the next elections will be.